It shouldn't be too hard considering these hitches are made specifically for this type of car. This one in particular is the hidden hitch for the 2015 plus WRX. It's class 3 with a tongue weight of 525 pounds and a gross trailer weight of 3,500 pounds. Should be all we need to do all the jobs we need to do. Dirty. Made in the USA. We do it right. I almost hit you. That was so close to your head.
I felt it.
Manual.
Are you gonna read it?
We do instructionals. No, all the reviews did say the manual was mostly useless. It's missing a few steps according to the reviews that I've seen of it. I know some of these words.
You do?
I can't read. Here you go.
Gotcha.
Alright, so the first thing to the disassembly of the car in preparation is pulling the little pop pins here. There's 3 of them inside here so that you can remove this. You'll start pulling the carpeted liner and start pulling some more all along the edges of this. You'll work down into the wheel wells and then start at the wheel wells and start pulling the bumper away from there. So you can use a flathead screwdriver, pop the top part, and then pop the bottom part, and they'll pull right out. Alright, so the next thing we'll need to do is pull the tail lights out. So you'll have your main harnessing plug here. You can press that tab, wiggle it out, and then you'll have 3 bolts here, here, and here. Undo those, and it should pull straight out. When you go to remove the rear bumper assembly, you will have the same pop tabs, pop pins, almost like what's in the trunk. I have added the mud flaps on this car, so it's slightly different. But in order to pull the rear bumper, you don't have to pull every structural mounting point. You'll have to pull this one here, if I can get it. And one down here on the bottom.
Oh boy.
And you'll have that one right behind the mud flap. You'll have several of this style along the bottom of the car, and you just pull those as you work your way around. pulling the rear bumper. You start up here, which there are a couple more tabs up here that I forgot to mention earlier. But you can start up here by the wheel and pull it right there and just start working your way around. All right, another step I missed, 2 bolts right here. Take those out first. There we go. Bumper. Dirty bumper. We'll clean that later. Alright, next thing we need to do is pull the rear bumper beam. Now you'll have 3 bolts on, I put 2. You'll have 3 bolts, I swear I know how to count, on each side here. And you'll have one here, and one on the bottom. The 2 up top will have holes for easy access. Alright, for our work under here, we'll need 3 things. 14mm impact, a wrench or ratchet, a 14mm wrench, and some sort of prying mechanism to remove the bushings. Here we go. Alright, next step is removing the heat shields that were above the mufflers. In this bit, there'll be a small piece that we'll have to trim out of that heat shield in order for the hitch to mount properly. So we're going to go ahead and pull those off. I'll show you where you need to trim, and I'll get to it. The area where you're wanting to trim is this area here. You'll trim from right here above the bolt ring, and you'll trim out this rectangle here where you can tell it follows the frame. We'll have to trim this because just about here is one of the points for connection for our hitch. So I've got a pair of 10 snips. That should do just fine. We'll do that on both and reattach these under the car. Alright, we've got this one trimmed out satisfactorily. We'll do the same to the other side and reinstall. Alright, for your next step, you're going to start inserting the bolts. So you'll take your Fisher coil, put it in through each of the holes, and run it out the front, or I suppose rear, of the frame rail. You'll take your bolt, your star lock washer, and a plate, and you will thread it onto your Fisher coil. Remember not to force it on or off of the coil. You could bend that coil. And once you do that, it'll be hard to get any of the other bolts on. So repeat that process for all 4 mounting points. On this next part, we're going to actually fit the hitch up under there and attach it. And the hardware that will go on the other end of your bolt that you've already put through the frame rails, you'll use 2 flat washers, 1 split lock washer, and 1 nut for each of the 4 mounting points. It's best to have a helper either help to hold and support the hitch while you do this, or hand you your hardware.
On A1. I just need it on one. Because this thing is actually quite heavy.
Started down, it's on, and everything's ready to be reinstalled. Start by reinstalling your exhaust hangers, reinstall your mufflers, and work everything exactly backwards of how you took it off. Alright, you'll take the main tail light wire that plugs into your tail light there, and you'll put it into this T connector. You'll connect that there, the other end of the T right there to your tail light. You'll run the ground wire to the tail light bolt, and then you'll take the bottom side of the T connector and you'll run it to the modulator box down here for the trailer tail lights. You'll take the plug out of that and it will run down to the power cables, which we run through the drain plug in the spare tire, and then it just runs over and plugs into the other tail light. So after that, oh, there's still a light back there. There we go. We'll pin that up later. After that, you're left with a bunch of stuff in the trunk. You're left with your trailer connector. And what I do is I just kind of set this off to the side, push it down in there, and put my dust cap back on. It fell off. Alright, there we go. That's good enough. And it'll set under that mat, and then when you need it, you can pull it out. I just pull a little bit of distance out of it, and then make sure it's flat and not on the piece there. Why is, oh, because of this. There it goes. And then you got that. You just connect that to your trailer, and you have trailer lights. Bye.
Rolling.
Rolling just like my trailer, connected to the Subaru. Okay, so I've been working with this hitch and this trailer mainly for quite a while, a few months now, before we give the final review. And I have pulled so far my street bike, I've pulled 3 dirt bikes, I've pulled toolboxes and all sorts of stuff. And honestly, the only complaint I have is how hard it is to put the pin in the hitch. You have to do it from underneath. You have to lay down and reach up under and behind the bumper to get it in there. So we're just coming back from a track in, so we're gonna open this up, from a track in Kentucky. So we've already driven with it, I guess about 2.5 hours today.
Yeah.
So we've already driven with it about 2.5 hours today. And we're gonna unload the bike and take that trailer back and unload the rest of it. So yeah, ready to roll. So let's go roll. Yoink. There's a part, but they're just over the tracks. They ain't picked up any speed yet. Yeah, this thing actually, it pulls super good. Don't even hardly know the trailer's back there. And in fact, I've pulled clear up to quite a heavy commercial stump grinder behind this thing. And I've taken this trailer everywhere from, well, I guess one weekend we drove with it for, what, 12 hours? Driving to Illinois and then over to St. Louis and back down to where we are. About 12 hours of driving, and was it 24 hours? About 24 hours, I'd say. So, and it's never missed a beat. Doesn't seem to affect it much at all. So, hitch,